Hey guys, welcome back to OceansEdgeMusic.com. My name is Andrew Wooddell, and I'm one of the worship leaders here at Calvary Chapel. And I want to talk to you today about Fingerstyle Basics Part 2. If you haven't already watched Part 1, go back and check it out, and then join us again for Part 2 as we talk about how to take the roles we learned in Part 1 and combine them with some other concepts so that we can play some more advanced fingerstyle techniques. All right, guys, if you haven't already done so, grab your metronomes, your acoustic guitar, and make sure you're tuned up. And we're going to put our metronomes at 80 beats a minute today, and we're going to talk about rolls, and we're going to use the C chord for our example. So let's do that. With our hand in the traditional C chord formation, and again, our right hand in the proper technique for fingerstyle, which is our thumb a little bit outside our other fingers, and then our first three fingers, index, middle, and ring, are going to be plucking upwards as our thumb plucks downward. All right, so it's going to look like this. And what I want you to do is we're going to emulate the sound of a strum, which is broken up slightly in time. So instead of plucking it all together like this, I want to try you guys breaking it up slightly like this. Okay? And when you use a pick, and I have a pick right here, when you strum downwards, you don't hit them all at the exact same time. You hit them slightly one behind the other, and it gives it a fuller sound. So we're going to emulate that with our fingers. The first step would be to do it all together. And once you get them all together and you feel comfortable with that, I want you to try breaking it up. So let's try that right now. We're going to put our metronome on 80 beats a minute, and we're just going to roll each time the quarter note happens. Let's try that together, 80 beats a minute. Let's do it together on a C chord, our thumb on the 5th string, which is the bass note, and our other three fingers on the top 3 strings. Let's try it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and... All right, now if you have a hard time getting back to that position, I want you to slow it down and do one roll every 4 beats. Let's try that. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's the first concept of trying to play a roll. Now, once you get that technique mastered, we're going to combine that with what we learned in Part 1, and we're going to combine that roll and a fingerstyle pattern in the next part of Part 2. So stay tuned. All right, guys, once you've gotten that roll down, what we're going to do is combine that with a fingerstyle pattern in Part 1. What we were doing in Part 1 is we were taking the bass note, and then we're taking each other string, and we were going to do 8th note patterns, and it looked like this. Okay, instead of doing that, for the substitution for the bass note, we're going to do the roll we worked on in the first part of this lesson. So instead of playing the bass note as an individual note in the pattern, we're going to do that combo roll for that part of the pattern. So we're going to do a roll, and then we're going to come back to the individual string. Okay, 3rd string, 2nd string, 1st string, which is index, middle, ring. All right, so we're going to do roll, then index, middle, ring. That's the pattern, and we're going to repeat it. So again, with our metronome at 80 beats a minute, we're going to do roll, and then pluck, pluck, pluck. 3rd, 2nd, 1st string. All right? Let's try that with our metronome at 80 beats a minute. 2, 3, 4. You can try this concept with any number of chords. All I want you to do is remember that the thumb is on the bass note of the chord and that your other 3 fingers are on any other combination of 3 strings that you want to use to try this technique. So if you're playing a D chord, you have 4 strings to choose from. If you're playing an E chord, you have 6 strings to choose from. But again, your thumb is on the bass note of each chord. And practice that roll. Once you get it down and you get it even, you'll find that your fingerstyle technique is going to get much, much, much better very, very quickly. So let's have you guys practice that for a while, and we'll see you again next time in Part 3 of OceansEdgeMusic.com series on fingerstyle techniques. See you guys next time.